Peace, love, Goldn.Light. Today is Thursday, and on Thursday, I share my journal response to the Write It Down series, which this week has been about community. It has been about change. How can you be a part of that change? So let's get into my response. You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen, we about to write it down. You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen, write it down. Okay, so anytime I think about change within the world, I can't leave myself out of it, right? I never feel like I can go around saying, we got to do this and we need to do that and we need to do that if I'm not actively playing a part in it, right? I'm only wanting to speak on the things that I know that I physically have been doing, but also leaving myself open to expand or gain more knowledge about other things I can be doing. When I first sat down to think about this question, I didn't really know where I wanted to start initially, right? So I just started writing. And I wrote here, forceful nature or trying to tell people what they should be doing and how to live. It's okay to share info, share your journey, and have an exchange with people, but we can't control other people's lives. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of times we get through social media and platforms and whatever the case may be in person, we go through this habit of being so passionate and confident about the way that we choose to live that we expect other people to live that same exact way, right? So there's a difference in sharing your information, sharing your journey, encouraging or inspiring, motivating people to look within themselves or follow the path that they feel led to take. So if I'm somebody that is passionate about journaling, I'm sharing that passion. I'm offering you guys the opportunity to get involved in journaling. That if it clicks for you and if you feel like it's something that you need to do, then that's something that you pursue in your path. But the problem that I have, that I see a lot, is the way that people disrespect, belittle, or just straight out come for people that don't do things the way that they expect them to do it or what they tell them to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody needs to be a vegan. You need to eat this. You need to eat that. You need to be doing this in the morning. You need to be like, and if you're not following this, you're not following that. Like that type of mindset that's like, the way that I live is the right way and fuck everybody else's way. You need to be doing what I'm doing, right? So whether that's within a religious group, whether that's in a spiritual group, whether that's in whatever type of boxing you want to put that in. The point is allow people the space to journey within their journey and you just being able to let your life be an example, right? I feel like we don't have to beat people in the head about what they should be doing. Everybody has to take accountability for themselves. And if we can come from a place of compassion and love to be in that space with others without trying to twist their hands to do something. I feel like if I got to twist your hand to do something, then it really ain't meant to be. You know what I'm saying? It really may not be for you. So it might just be letting go of that control of being the one who is putting someone on a path and what that may do for somebody's ego. So I want to see more people being compassionate and loving towards differences, towards other ways of living, right? And if that is something that they choose to do, you have to in some way find a ground to respect it. So if you have to distance yourself, distance yourself. If you don't want to be associated with that person, do that. But the way that I see people just being disrespectful, harmful, like just all these other stuff, when you could just allow people to live their life, right? If you care about people and you love people, yes, you want to provide like correction or criticism and things like that. But there is a space for that. Right? And the way that people is using online to do that is just like, y'all got a lot of shit that y'all need to check within yourselves. Y'all have a lot of things that y'all need to work through within yourselves before you find all this time to be disrespectful and harmful to someone else because they're not doing what you choose to do or what you think that they should be doing, right? So this controlling type of aspect on other people's lives, I want us all to let go of that, right? So for me personally, I've been in a certain shift or a certain mindset of that. When I was underneath the Hebrew community and I first started out so passionate about it, I was so devoted to it, and because I love the people that I was sharing this information with, I kind of was very hard on them to do certain things. And if they were still eating certain things or not doing certain things, I kind of was being very judgmental, right? And it pulled away like the loving aspect that we're supposed to have. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to support everything somebody that is doing, you know what I'm saying? But there's a shift in my mind that happened that said that there are going to be some people that's not doing the things that you're doing. You don't know what God has planned for somebody else. You don't know other people's path and their purpose of why they're even here. So it's just a point to like just chill, take a step back, and really work on yourself. So I am passionate about the things that I'm doing for myself, and I do share my journey, but I never want to come off as saying like, you need to be doing this and this is the way to survive and this is the way to live. I'm going to talk about it with a lot of passion because it's something that I'm passionate about. But I want you to be able to think for yourself, to decide for yourself, and to get to know God for yourself in order to direct your own life. Because we all have to answer for the things that we do, and our conscience bears witness to the things that we're doing, right? So more love, more compassion, more respect, and patience to understand, right? A lot of times we're jumping the gun to correct somebody without really understanding the whole situation. And if you don't have discernment like that, you out here judging and doing a whole bunch of things that doesn't allow us to move forward in a fruitful way. Now, with me saying all of this, it does not mean that you're always like, just do whatever life is, there's points where you have to be stern, you have to be disciplined, you have to provide structure. So some parts of it is going to be hard or stern, or somebody can come off aggressive in a sense, but that doesn't give permission for people to be condescending, belittling, disrespectful, and all that other shit. I want people to work on their healing, to work on their trauma, to work on their insecurities, to work on their fears, to do the work that is needed in order for us to free ourselves from bondage, right? So the only thing I could do really is to live my life and let my life be an example, because that speaks louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. So anything that I'm doing and saying, I'm living that, right? And I want to make sure that I'm only speaking on things that I'm truly living and working through, and being open and honest about that. Another thing that I thought about on a whole nother level to that, as far as change and how I can impact, is, y'all, litter. That's something that irks my nerves so much. And I'm not the best at it, but like recycling and things like that, like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I definitely want to actually do more research about that process and how I can get more knowledgeable and aware so I can be better. But littering tears my nerves. Like, there's nothing worse than going to like a beautiful place, even if it's in my backyard, and looking at the trees and the water and lakes and oceans and the beach, and it's just trash. Like, you got bottles and all this other shit that just like, it looks like it doesn't belong there, right? So I want to do better at keeping the earth beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Keeping creation beautiful, and not treating it as if it's like a dump yard. Like, so I mean, if that causes me to get involved in organizations in my community, in my area, to help pick up trash in certain areas, I want to be open to do that. Because there'll be times too, like I'll be with people and they be throwing, when you leave in the store and you drop the bottle on the side of the road to get in the car, I'd be like, yo, the trash is right there. Like, say, throw it away. I would get up and throw it away, because I just, for like it's how's that an inconvenience? Like, the trash is right there, it's being lazy, but it's just like, that's my way of, just like I take care of my space and what it does for my mental, being able to see creation, and that's my way of wanting to take care of it. I know the earth is going to take care of itself in different aspects, but while we're here and, you know, trees is giving us oxygen, we vibing with nature and it's working with us, the least we can do is have some respect about where we place our trash. You know what I'm saying? So that is my response to the journal prompt and some of the things that I wrote down, as far as the change, that the type of change that I want to see within the world. I want to encourage all of us to be more loving, to be more caring, to be more compassionate, to be more considering, to be patient, to understand each other, even in places where we don't agree. Like, when you disagree with somebody, I don't feel like that's a space for you to be disrespectful or belittle them. So just the way that we treat each other and speak to each other, I want that to be better. And it starts with how we're treating ourselves and things that we need to work through, because a lot of times we're responding to each other from triggers, from trauma and things like that. So spend time working on yourself, healing yourself, reach out and ask for help, whether you need to go to therapy or you're doing self-therapy. Take that time to really work on yourself, because that does affect people that we're around. And the more I work on myself, the more that I can be better for you guys, can be better for my family, my friends, and also the generation to come. So I hope you guys were able to take away something from this video. If you have any resources for me, because you know I'm trying to help with, you know, recycling or littering within the earth, and in my area, I'm in North Carolina, so y'all lead me in the right direction. I'm gonna take accountability initiative to research it for myself as well, but share with me the knowledge that you have so that I can expand as well. So until next time, my sugar babies, peace and love. You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen, we about to write it down. You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen, write it down.